Welcome back to Josh Uncut. Today we're going to cut to how you can make £500,000 in a year without relying on anybody else. So in 2015, I left high school, officially got going with the business. And it took me from 2015 to 2022 to do 500k in a year. And then from 2022 to 2024, we've jumped up to 1.2 million. And then this year, for 2025, we're going to do 2.2 million. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the tips and tricks on how you can get there faster and an exact blueprint of what you need to do to hit that magic number. First things first, if you've not started, then you have to get started. A lot of people talk the talk, but never actually implement anything. The difference between success and failure is just, oh, you actually want to turn up and do the job. And when you do get started, you have to start with the end in mind, and you have to make that end as big as possible. If it doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough. You should be sitting in your bed quite scared of what you're about to embark on. And if it doesn't do that, it's not big enough. And if it's not big enough, then there's no point in doing it, because we can all sit here and set an easy target, but what's the point in that? You must have a passion for what you're about to embark on, because it's going to engulf your entire life. If you've not got a passion for it, just forget it. You might think, oh, it's going to be making me money, therefore I'll enjoy it, but you won't. You'll enjoy it for so long and it will just tire you out. So you have to have something that you're passionate about, because it's going to take up a good part of your life. When you get started, if you've not begun, you're probably a one-man band and you're doing it yourself. So the person to get from 0 to 100k is a different person that's going to take you from 100 to 500k. So you have to invest in yourself, and you have to train and skill up yourself, because you have to grow as a person as much as the business is going to grow. When you go from 0 to 100, it'll be quite easy to get customers. You have to tell people that you're doing it, and then your auntie will get you, your auntie's friends will get you, your granny will use you, and it'll be relatively straightforward. But that doesn't mean you should not be doing any marketing. You should be always on the lookout to getting customers and using a lot of your energy for sales and marketing. And as you grow, you have to put more and more energy into that, because you need more customers. So the person that's going to take you from 100k to 500k, you can't do that by yourself. You're going to have to start building your team. So that segues us nicely into us arriving at the yard. You need to build your team, you need to get premises. You know, you probably can't just work out your garage anymore, you've probably outgrown it. Team is normally a reflection of the owner. I made the mistakes of hiring the wrong people. Now hired 65 people to get to the 25 members of staff that we've got. You know, I've had to make a lot of mistakes. You have to kiss a few frogs to find your prince. And what most business owners do, they have a really bad experience with like 1 or 2 employees, and then they just stop hiring. Hire slow, fire fast. One bad employee can set your business back 1 year easily. I've had a few bad employees over my time where it's just not worked out. But you know, most people are good. You just have to do the right things, and the better you become as a person, the more you train yourself, the better quality of candidates you'll get applying for the job. Good attracts good, great attracts great, and bad attracts bad. And once you've got your team, it's about culture, and it's about creating that culture, and the culture comes from you down. So I can guarantee you, as you're sitting here just now coming up with ideas, once you start moving, ideas will change. You know, the world's in a constant state of flux, and if you don't innovate, you will evaporate. If you're still selling fax machines today, you're not in business. Look at Blockbusters. Blockbusters thought, oh, we'll just carry on as is. Down the tubes. Just because you've got a plan, plans can change. You just want an overall vision of where you want to get to, but the goals along the way can change, and that will steer you in the correct direction for hitting that big sales target. Everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different, but here is exactly what I did to get to where I am. I started off just cutting grass. I was 17 and I just used to work 12, 13, 14 hours a day, every day throughout the summer, the spring and the autumn, and obviously winter was a bit quieter. And then once I had enough work, I'm like, okay, I'm working this many hours, I can employ more people. So then I employed some people, trained them up, employed better people. I would take on more work than what I could handle, come back down, employ somebody, and just rinse and repeat. A big part of it was the relationship with the customers, and as the business grew, my customers had to sort of change as well, because I had different goals for what I wanted to achieve, and the customers that I had were not the right customers. So that had to change. The team that I'd built to begin with wasn't really the right team, so that had to change, and we had to get people more on board with what we were trying to achieve. I've still got team members from the early days, but not everybody I hired. They weren't right for us and we weren't right for them. The biggest part of how I've got to where I've got to now is along the way, opportunities have come up, not from myself, but from other people saying, Josh, we should maybe do this. Josh, have you thought about that? And you know, I've taken those opportunities and jumped on them. So we just started off cutting grass, now we do landscaping, now we're in Shedville, now we do tree surgery, Christmas trees, waste management. All those things have sort of come up on the way, and we've jumped on them, added it on, bolted it together, and made it work. And all these things were not part of the initial plans, but like I say, you know, plans change and you got to be open to that and adapt and overcome. But that's my blueprint for what I did, but that applies to any business. Apply that methodology, that blueprint to what you're doing, and I can guarantee you it will be successful. You have to put in the work. So if you've not started, get started today. Write it down. Send me your thoughts in the comments. I'll get back to you. Like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week for the next episode.